Let's see what the park looks like today. You know, it was closed the other day, and I assume that they may be paving part of the road, but let's go see if it's open today. Oh yeah, I see people out. And the moment of truth. Well, they didn't really pave it, they kind of like cemented it. But yeah, this is what they did right here, this little area right here. Well, let's see, some trucks right behind me, so I can't back in like I was originally gonna do, and this truck next to me is parked sideways in the parking spot, so let me get the camera. Okay. Here's what we got here. Here's what we got here. That guy over there, as you can see, is parked sideways. Oh yeah, there's the river down there. Picnic area. Yeah. I wish that guy would leave. I mean, he's right in the middle of like the parking spaces. It's not that he's just parked horizontal incorrectly, but he's like in the middle of all the spaces. There's like maybe 10 spaces, and he's like right in the middle. So if I park on the other side, I'll be literally like right in front of him, and he'll be looking right at me. And I don't want to park behind him, because what I wanted to do is back in. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll just like sit here for a little bit. He's got his truck running, so maybe he'll leave. Looks like he's from Louisiana, so I guess that's how they do it in Louisiana. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Don't be offended if you're from Louisiana. I actually like Louisiana. It's nice and peaceful out here. I don't know what I'll do. I have to ship something today. I dropped my oldest son off at someone's house to do some work. A guy that goes to our church. My son periodically goes out and helps him. I think he'll be there for 4 hours today. So I have 4 hours out to do what I want to do, which I start here. And then in a few minutes I'll head to probably the thrift shop. Maybe spend a half hour. Excuse me. About a half hour in there. Look around, and I don't know what I'll do from there. Probably I was thinking about making coffee, in the van. As in right now. Yeah. I guess I may as well do it. That guy doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Maybe I should have parked like really close behind him. Freaked him out. And then he'd be like, well, I guess that's how they do it in North Carolina. All right, let's see if I can get this thing started. This is like the never-ending propane tank. Seems like I've been using this one tank for 5 years, and it just like keeps going. I say that, and it'll probably like run out of fuel halfway to boiling my water or something today. But I'm literally, it's like I've been using it. I even turn it on like for 15 minutes at a time to warm up the van sometimes when I'm just sitting someplace. I've been using it for a while, man. I'm like, serious? I'm not complaining. All right. I got a new pot. My other pot's a little disgruntled with me because I don't use it as much anymore. It used to be my main pot, and now it has to settle for being my secondary pot because I found this little pot, and it's got a flat bottom, and it sits on my burner easier. And the other pot, well, it's got a flat bottom, but it's like a real small bottom, and then it kind of goes rounded, and it sits kind of wobbly. I'm not talking about you back there. I still like you, and I'll still use you sometimes. It's back there. And I know it hurt every word. But also this one has a lid, and the other one doesn't. Okay, now I gotta figure out where I washed this cup out yesterday after I used it. I'm gonna use it, I think. I gotta find some coffee. I don't know if I have any coffee up here, if I'll have to get out. Oh, the guy turned off. No, he didn't. I thought he turned off his truck. It's just I repositioned myself and I couldn't see the smoke coming out of the tailpipe, but then I backed up a little bit and yeah, it's still coming out of the tailpipe. I have to go back there and get a little sleeve of coffee. I'll be right back. Oh. Hello up there. Can you see me? Let's see what I got. Here we go. Here I come. Oh, goodness. Cafe Bustelo. Anyway. I got up this morning. One of the first things I did was went on our router site and I blocked ChatGPT, whatever it is, .com. Because I don't want either of my boys to be able to get on there and use that right now. Because I don't have favorable opinions of it. Your opinion may be different, and that's fine. You are entitled to your opinion. But all the things I see in the world going on, I don't know. It just seems like it's the beginning of the beast system, in my opinion. I may be overthinking it. I'll look more into it. If you have an opinion about it, feel free to drop it in the comments below, and I'll respect that opinion. I'll read it. I'll think about it. Give me something to think about if you want to. As if I don't have enough to think about already. But yeah, I have very mixed emotions about it. Very mixed emotions about it. I mean, as in everything, I think there's good and bad. And obviously even like the internet. a lot of bad out there, but there's also a lot of good. I mean, I'm surviving now financially because of the internet. I have online sales. I sell my art. I sell my antiques, collectibles, t-shirts, mugs, books, movies, and things like that I've done over the years. I've sold those products online because of the internet. But there's a lot of baggage that comes with the internet. And I don't like the invasion of privacy. People can find out anything about you they want to. That's just none of their business if they really want to do it. I think that's just an invasion of privacy. I think that websites and things that provide that information should be able to be sued, class action lawsuits, because I think you should have a reasonable expectation of some kind of privacy about certain things anyway. But yeah, I've been making the majority of my money online since 1997. That said, though, lately I've been wanting to do, like more physical things. I'm not physical enough, and I don't exercise like I should, and I never will. I won't. I can say what I want to say, but I'm not going to. Therefore, well, it leads me back to an old topic that I've discussed before. But when my oldest son was about 3, I had symptoms. I don't know. I would almost pass out for no reason. Anyway, long story short, I had an aneurysm on my heart, and it was pretty big. And the cardiologist, I had to go through a lot of tests. They thought I had a hole in my heart. They thought this, they thought that, all kind of things. I was scared to death. I cried some because I was thinking about leaving my 3-year-old son and never getting to know him. It was a terrible, terrible time in my life, that brief stint of time when they didn't know what was wrong with me, but they knew there was something serious wrong with me. And the cardiologist told me flat out, he asked, do you exercise? And no, I don't really exercise. Even back then I didn't. That was 13 years ago. So he said, maybe you should consider getting out and getting a job. Because, at the time I was just doing eBay and online sales like I am now. Maybe you should do some kind of a physical job and get out and, make that a part of your lifestyle. And that way you'll kind of exercise because, well, in essence, you have to, right? So that's what I did. I went and got a job with the Habitat for Humanity, working on their truck, going and picking up furniture and boxes, putting on the truck, unloading it all day long. I was up and down off the truck. I was lifting heavy stuff. And at the same time, they put me on a sleep apnea machine because they realized that I had sleep apnea. And he says that pretty much seems like that was the cause of my aneurysm, because something about oxygen getting to my brain and my heart struggling and whatever. That's all the technical stuff. But that doesn't need to be clarified or anything here. It's just that was the reason for my aneurysm. So in conjunction with the hard work and the exercise that I was forced to do, within about a year to a year and a half, I went back to the cardiologist, and boom, the aneurysm was completely healed. So sometimes I think now, maybe I should go out and get a physical job, just something to occupy my time, to do a physical activity 5 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever. And, you know, maybe that would help me exercise, which I don't do now. I don't know. I mean, I like hard work. It's just that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to just go out and do that in my spare time like a lot of, manual labor or whatever. I mean, but I guess if it was part of a job, because I always, when I work somewhere, I do my best. I give it 110%. So, I don't know. Maybe I should do that because maybe I'd be better. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'll be better frame of mind, mentally even. Being around people and engaging more and then doing that physical activity of whatever it would be. I don't know. I think of that sometimes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sometimes you have to force something on yourself. And you have to come to the conclusion and realization that I'm too lazy to exercise, or I can't seem to find time to exercise because there's other things that I put before my health, essentially. And that's pretty bad. So anyway, that's the story. It's getting more busy out here. You want to hire me? Yeah, I don't know what I'd want to do. It'd be just something, nothing career-minded at my age. Not at this point in my life. It would just simply be to be able to go through the motion and getting some physical exercise and exertion and everything. So who knows? I mean, I certainly could lose about 25 pounds. I should be at around 190. That would be ideal. But I'm not. I'm in excess of 210, 15, 20. Yeah. So, anyway, that's just kind of like my thought process today. Sometimes I wonder, you're like, who's watching this and what do they do? Housewife, bank worker, husband, father, grandparents. I don't know. It's just, it'd be interesting to know what everybody does, who's watching my videos, which not many people are now these days. I'm telling you, it's so weird when I don't, if you're a new subscriber here, a long time ago, I just had my title, Micah Keith. That's it. And I had worked up and I was starting to get, not a lot of views, but for me, it was a milestone because I was getting like 100 views every video I'd put out, at least 100. And I know that's not a lot, but I mean, I only had 100 subscribers at the time, And then I changed my name and I lost everything. I quit getting views. I quit getting subscribers. Nothing. It's like I dropped off the face of YouTube, I guess. So then I changed it back to Micah Keith, but then I added TV because I just wasn't happy with my name. And the views still haven't come back. The subscribers are still not building like they were back then. I don't know why. Something about the algorithm. Maybe I'm being punished long term. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie and say, I don't want subscribers. I don't really care if I get subscribers. Who cares? Because, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, that's not really true at all. But, I will say, as any of you have been with me for a while, that the reason I make these videos primarily is because of my boys. I want them to be able to look back and see, because I'd love to be able to look back and see my dad talking about life, our life, things we've done and everything. I have nothing. I have nothing of him at all. Nothing. I mean, he died in 1993, before the internet, before, I think back then it was like VHS, huge truck-sized cameras that you're carrying around on your shoulder. I have nothing of my dad. Nothing. And I decided I didn't want that. I mean, I have nothing of my mom either. The only thing I have of my mom, she didn't like to be on camera. So I respected that. And I didn't get her on camera. And that's the reason, because she didn't die until, well, this coming up Halloween will be 14 years. She died in 2011, October 31st. But I did record her one day with my I had a big, like a movie camera, DVX 100A, with anamorphic lens and external mics and all that. The whole thing cost like $6,000. It was when I was a filmmaker and I was making my 2 feature-length movies. But I recorded her about 2 to 3 hours, her audio, talking about things, about her life and the Everglades and how she met Daddy and all kinds of stuff. I do have that of her. But I want my boys to have something. And I don't care if they ever watch it even for 10 minutes. It's still going to be available to them in case they do want to watch it. And that's the primary reason I make these videos, is for my 2 boys. I love my 2 boys. I'd do anything for my 2 boys. So, yeah, of course I want subscribers. Yeah, why wouldn't I? But I guess my whole point is, if they don't come, the subscribers and the views and all that, so be it. I'm not discouraged. I'm going to keep making videos because, number one, I love to do it. It's therapeutic to me, believe it or not. It's like I'm maybe talking to this invisible therapist or something, or at least a friend, that bouncing ideas off of and just saying what I did and everything. So I don't know. There's a lot of positives about making, videos, even if people aren't watching that much. So that's my mindset. Sure, I'd love views. Sure, I'd love subscribers. Sure, I'd like comments. Sure, I'd like likes and even dislikes, whatever, as long as people are engaging. But if none of that happens and it's just very sparse like it is now, so be it. I'll continue making my videos because they're primarily for my kids. And that said, I also have to keep in mind, I always lose track or lose sight of the fact that some of the biggest YouTubers, whatever the beast guy is, I think it said after 2 years or so making all these videos that he didn't even have 1,000 subscribers after 2 years or so. And I think it's like way over like 90% of YouTubers like don't have 1,000 subscribers. It's like crazy amount, like what, 90? I don't know the numbers. You have to look it up, but like 95, 96% or something of YouTubers do not have 1,000 subscribers. Most don't. So I lose track of that too. If I start thinking about that line of thinking, I always have to remind myself, like, hey, bro, you're not really doing anything super exciting to make people want to subscribe to your channel more than the other, say, 96% that has 1,000 or less subscribers. Why would they really want to subscribe to you when all you're doing is sitting in your van drinking coffee and talking? I get it. That's just the kind of channel it is. I don't do a whole lot of exciting things, a lot of activities and stuff. And I don't care. I mean, this is just what it is. If people want to tune in, they can. If they don't want to, don't. That's just the way it is. I like coffee. I like my van. I love my boys. I love my family. I love God. I love going to church. We went to church like 2 years ago. We started going to church, and that has added another dimension to our life that it would have been unimaginable to me. Even 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I didn't think we were ever going to go to church. I had this notion about church that, I don't know, everybody was there for the wrong reason. They're judgmental. The preacher's going to just scream at you, hell and brimfire, and make you feel like, you're some kind of a worm. Because I had that experience with a denomination that I went to church once, and I said, no, man, I am never, ever, ever, ever going back to church. No, no one's going to, no. And then we're in this church. Everything's different. It's beautiful. Lovely people. I love the pastors there. Great men. The congregation, everybody's nice, supportive, friendly. It's changed my life. And my boys now are growing up in a church. I'm very thankful for that. So, anyway, I know that was probably a digression because I don't remember where it was actually heading, before the tangent. Sorry, didn't mean to go on a tangent. This thing is like stuck. I need to put WD-40 in it because, it's just like washing out the side of my face. My face doesn't need any help looking more abnormal than it already looks. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. Thanks for joining in. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment if you want to. Like, dislike. Do everything but throw a rotten tomato at me. And thankfully, I don't see anybody out there with rotten tomatoes, so that's a good thing. Anyway, God bless you. God loves you. He's always there for you, waiting for you to say hi, to talk to him. He's always there. So anyway, I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.